that camera. Yep, that's all it says.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Holy
What the
crap.
hell was that voice?
2026.
1 year anniversary of Hulk Hogan getting booed out of the building.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I
God,
remember
here we
that.
go.
That was interesting.
I should have stayed in bed today.
Way to start off the new year, Aaron. Jeez.
Right, Aaron? Jesus.
And someone had to say it, Jeff. It was going to be him. Otherwise,
No one had to say it.
Well, I mean,
Well, you know what? We've
going.
seen stranger things, folks.
Accurate. For those that care about that.
Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of the NoDQ Review, the first one of 2026, episode 369. I am the original review moderator, Virtue, being joined by this week's elite panel of the review. Of course, Aaron Rift is here, Noah Foster, Gino co-moderator, Jeff Meacham, and Big G. What's going on, everybody? Happy 2026. What's going on, Big G? Are you happy to be here?
I'm happy to be here on the first review of 2026, as always. Had a good New Year's Day. Went to the Netflix house in Philly. Had an exciting game on Sunday Night Football this past weekend. Started my last term for school. So got a lot of things going on here in 2026. We got some good topics here tonight. And like I always like to say, let's get this ball rolling, baby.
Okay, we'll get it rolling. Are the Steelers going to win the first week of the playoffs? I don't think everybody's going to miss it. I don't think everybody's going to miss a field goal to get them in. So, anyway, Jeff Meacham, what's up?
That Steelers game was a lot more exciting than the Cowboys game. Cowboys decided to shit the bed again in the second half. Thanks a lot, jerks. God, they're so bad. Oh, they're so bad. But I am not bad because I am happy to be on the NoDQ Review, first one of 2026. Always glad to be back at the original home of good old JM. So let's get it going, Virtue.
Yeah, let's get it going so we can get it done before 8. Maybe Cycle Jet Black won't even be here.
awesome
It'll
to get
cost
done
Aaron
before
some
8.
money, but it'll save me some time. Gino, what's up?
Not too much. Patriots had a successful end of their season going in. We had the Stranger Things episode of Raw last night, and looking forward to talking about all that with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Stay tuned. We will talk about Raw a little bit later. Noah, what's up?
Not much, man. Good evening once again. NoDQ Galaxy and fam. Good to be here on the other side of 2025 for what's to come in 2026 on the kickoff of the review this year. So as always, I'm ready to see what's in store for the next conversation. So I figure without further ado, let's get right into it.
I mean, we'll have our couple topics, and I'm sure at some point the Chad will hijack with super chats, and we'll go way off tangent. I'll get frustrated, and it'll be same old, even though it's a new year. Aaron, what's up?
Not too much. It is a new year for the No DQ Review. We're coming up close to 10 years now of the No DQ Review. I think we're at 8 now. We started early 2018. It's been a fun ride, and this is a fantastic panel tonight. We got the simple man, Noah Foster. We got the happy one, Big G, the OBG1. We got good old JM, Jeff Meacham, the old school No DQ panelist, and of course the newbie, but he's great. He's been doing a tremendous job with the panels when he's the co-host. Big Papa Gino with us, and of course the ORM Virtue. I'm excited for this one. This is a solid lineup. Let's get right into the discussion.
So, and Gino will be moderating next week, by the way, and then I will be returning the week after. I'm going to be moderating every other week, so you're going to see more of me in this spot right here, whether you like it or not. So, Happy New Year. All right, Aaron.
That's right.
Aaron, go like this real quick. You remember when you used to have a little bit up there, or maybe do this and fill up your beard? What happened? I want to ask you. I don't know if you would still have it, but back when you still could grow it, or maybe you can't. I don't know. You had to get rid of it. Can you explain to maybe some of the newer viewers that don't know what happened back then? Just before we get into this first topic.
Nice segue.
Well, in 2016, we had WrestleMania 32. There was a ladder match, and I said that if Zack Ryder won the Intercontinental title, I would shave my beard, shave my head, and sure enough, Zack Ryder won the IC title. I shaved my head as promised, shaved the beard. It's on the No DQ YouTube channel. And then 24 hours later, what happened? He lost the title to The Miz, and my hair never grew back. That's the
But you know what though? Like I've seen you back then when I can't like I can only envision you the way you look now. Like it would be weird if I saw you with the beard and the hair. So I think things happen for a reason and for the better. So I wouldn't be too upset. Oh, by the way, he's back now in WWE full time. It seems like. I mean, his wife is there, so you know how that kind of works. But Zack Ryder is now Matt Cardona, so he got his way. Triple H got another Triple H King of Pops pop. Hey, as soon as Matt Cardona wins the JCW Lunacy Championship, right, and that little indie promotion with the Juggalos, he can't even. I don't know if he taped anything after that because they taped those months or weeks ago. But it's just interesting now he's back in WWE. I mean, that's how the life of indie works. But all these years, you know, I don't know how many years has he been out of WWE? Five, a long time.
5 or 6.
They
Yeah.
created this Cardona thing, GCW. He's been in AEW, Impact, everywhere. And now WWE has him back after he worked with Vince Russo. And it was going to happen anyway, probably because Chelsea Green is there. But I just the pettiness of the wrestling business. Well, and good for Matt Cardona, right? Because that's what he wanted to do. That's where he probably gets paid the most. So it worked out. Big G, thoughts on the return of Matt Cardona in? Will something happen? Will he actually be elevated, kind of like Drew McIntyre was? Obviously Cody Rhodes, but is it going to be more like who else might like R-Truth comes back and then absolutely nothing, right back to how it was with Zack Ryder? Go ahead.
Oh God. So Cardona coming back, I thought was interesting. You know, we saw him in the last time is now tournament as Zack Ryder, and I saw that when he came out on last week Friday, and I saw Zack Ryder, I was like, okay, so are they signing him back? And then they kind of transitioned in with his Always Ready thing, and I guess some new theme music that we got, and came out as Matt Cardona. I was like, all right, this is interesting. I had mentioned last night or the other night on Sunday, I was like, this would have never happened in Vince's world. He would have came back. If anything, he would have came back as Zack Ryder. They never would have let him use his real name, Matt Cardona. So as far as him being elevated, you know, Drew left, came back to NXT, you know, did his thing down there, went to the main roster, won the WWE title in 2020 during COVID. You know, he held that era up without no fans, you know, and then he's been kind of on this like up and down roller coaster of a ride these past couple years. So we'll see what happens with him on Friday. And you know, same thing with Cody. Cody left because, you know, he didn't want to do the whole Stardust thing. So he reinvented himself as the American Nightmare, built himself up on the indies, started AEW, came back a couple years ago as Seth Rollins' opponent at WrestleMania. You know, now he's WWE champion. Now, will the same thing work with Matt Cardona? I want to believe so. You know, he left. He got released by WWE, did his thing in the indies, like you said, GCW, AEW, TNA, JCW just recently. You know, I think he'll start off by winning possibly the US title somewhere down the road. But I want to believe he'll be elevated to the main card title. Not maybe the WWE title, but maybe the world title if he goes on to Raw later down the road. I want to see him get that one title run because I think he kind of deserves it. You know, like I just mentioned, Cody got it, Drew got it. I think Cardona can do it too. The crowd has always liked Cardona or Zack Ryder, so I think he will get the world heavyweight title, but not the WWE title.
You know what I think? I think because pettiness is just all around the wrestling business, they got to get that old indie and JCW, especially because he was their champion and Russo's there, stink off of him. So he's probably going to job to like Joe Hendry first or something like that. It's interesting. I'm going to be interested to see his first feud and match if he actually, doesn't win it, because like that's how the wrestling business is. Jeff, what do you have to say?
Well, first off, I'm happy for Matt. You know, I've been following him since he left WWE. I was fan of Zack Ryder's when he was there, other than the fact that he cost Aaron his hair, and because I decided to show solidarity with my brother. I lost my hair, what was left of my hair too, and my beard as well. There's a picture of the two of us walking into a restaurant right after we got those haircuts, and just we are as bald as the day is long. It's quite disturbing looking back. What is that now? 10 years this year, Aaron. Wow.
Yeah, 10 years.
It's crazy. God. I'm looking at some of like the anniversaries for the movies in Disney. It's like, God, they're 10 years, like someone 10 years old. I just go, God, it's so fast. Anyway, I appreciate what G had to say as far as Matt deserves a world championship. I've never seen Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona as a WWE world champion. And that's not trying to knock on him. I don't see him in that role. I think he would be a great return to the Intercontinental title, just not in a ladder match with Aaron's betting on it, because we don't want that shit again.
Right.
But Intercontinental US Championship, yes. But as the world champion, I don't know. There's so much talent on both Raw and SmackDown that maybe NXT champion. But not, I don't know if people consider the NXT title a world title, because it is a third brand WWE. So there's discussion on that. But I don't see him as the WWE champion or the world heavyweight champion. But I'm happy for him that he's back. I've always liked him in Chelsea. And I think Chelsea's a future world champion, but not Matt. I don't know why. I see more likely for her than for him.
Now, Jeff, I want to clear, like when I say JCW indie stank, that's just in general with WWE and how I think that
you're right.
I like, because Russo's there, and
yes.
you know, JCW is very cult and niche with the Juggalo fans and the Russo fans. I mean, that's pretty much their base. But so like, I'm not throwing shade at that. I actually watched that show, but you know what I mean.
No, I do know. Yeah.
AEW stink if somebody comes over for the
right.
WWE always has to cleanse. That's why a lot of people come back to NXT.
Yes.
There's been exceptions, but
yeah. And I
want to make that clear.
Yeah, and I personally, and Russo was really quick when Matt appeared on SmackDown to make that statement, and good on him. It's
they knew it was going to happen.
They had to have known. Like there's no way that Matt's not going to let, especially the Juggalos, ICP and Russo know that. Like they have to keep him informed. But Russo was very classy about it, and he's been around long enough to know that shit happens. Like things always flow in wrestling. There's always a constant ebb and flow in wrestling, and that happens. They are not WWE, and the opportunity for somebody to go to WWE is always there if the talent is still there. Matt Cardona has that talent. It was always his goal to go back. He talked about it. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes talked about it on Cody's podcast. For a guy that likes the Indies, he should just talk about going back to WWE, and now he's back. So good on him.
Yeah, and I don't know what they taped, why they had Cardona before he went back to WWE, but like it'll be, I want to see what Russo kind of books his way out of it. Like they could strip him of the title. They could put somebody under that little jester gimmick again and have him go out there and lose, and then just be like, obviously we know it's not Cardona, but I don't know. I like to see stuff like that, right? And you just lay in bed, watch YouTube on your phone.
If anybody,
that's kind of what it is, right? It's not like I got to dedicate a lot of time to watch more wrestling.
If any creative or writer can pull it off, it's Vince Russo.
I wanted to get to a couple things before we go to the next person. So I do have a few photos I would like to share. First of all, here it is.
That's side up.
This was the day of WrestleMania 32. So that is one of the last pictures.
You did you a favor, Aaron.
Yeah, Matt.
The bearded man.
I don't even like mine when it gets that way. I feel like a bum.
God, that was 10 years ago. That's crazy.
It was a protest beard.
It was.
I was protesting late 2015 WWE.
Yeah, he was upset. Anyway,
right, and then here's the second picture. There you go.
You can see in the mirror that's me filming. That's the best part.
Wow.
Yeah,
and that's the Aaron that we know today.
Exactly. That was the beginning of
Where's the one of us walking into the restaurant I was talking about? Do you have that one?
Which one?
The one of us after we were all done and we went to get lunch afterwards.
I do not have that one off the top of my head, but
give me a second.
Anyways, whoa.
But
timer's off.
It'll be interesting if Cardona gets into any title picture, what kind of bets Aaron's going to make going forward.
He knows better.
A redemption bet so he can win.
I got something to say about that, but real quick, City by the Bay sent in a $5 super chat since we were on the topic of JCW. City by the Bay says, JCW Lunacy is my fave weekly wrestling show right now. Humble Among YouTube channel does great recaps.
Yeah, and like it's so over the top. Like I get a kick out of like the zombies and then biting Vito, and now Vito's probably going to get infected.
Oh my
like
God.
this is that kind of stuff. It's just like makes me want to tune in. And yeah, I know Vito a little bit more, personally because
Right.
we've done shows together. But that's all I ask for in wrestling, and I'd love to see WWE attempt that at their level with their talent. Oh, doesn't have to be Russo doing it. They have writers, but can't you be a little more creative? And we're going to talk about that later when we talk about Raw. Anyway, go ahead, Aaron.
They know what they are. They're not trying to be something they're not. I did watch it. It was entertaining. It is pretty low budget and over the top. You got, as you said, zombies, and you got Vampiro out there. I thought Vampiro did a pretty good job. I thought Vito did a good job. I even like hearing from Vince Russo. The matches, it was what it was. It's like an indie show.
They don't focus on wrestling.
Put out one guy who's like, in tremendous shape and looks like a wrestler. But it was a cool thing. It's a shame about him not being able to follow up on that. But hey, it is wrestling, and it's just funny the timing of it, that right after Cardona wins the title on a Vince.
What's going to be interesting is I'm not sure the exact involvement, but Nemeth might be involved, Anderson, and so if anybody else gets plucked after, that'll be it. And I'm not talking to Impact because they're still their own company. I'm talking about WWE. That'll be interesting. Like, we know James Storm's already been on Lunacy, and WWE probably won't go for certain people back, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I will say this. I think if they can get like a marquee star for at least one show, like, bring in somebody as a special guest. If they can keep bringing in special guest stars of name value, I think they can get their numbers up.
And I say this with chills, because would this not have been awesome if Bray never passed away and then somehow left WWE, never came back, or left WWE again and was able to do stuff like this? That would be awesome to see Bray in that environment. But we're never going to get that. We can only think of what could have been, but that would have been awesome. Anyway.
All right.
Gino, your turn. Cardona.
Thank you so much, guys. So the king of the indies is now in the big leagues once again, but they swerved us with the whole Ryder, Titantron, and then now it's Cardona. And somebody mentioned in the chat they've got both Zack Ryder merch and Matt Cardona merch in the store. Obviously, business decision like they did with Truth and like they do with these guys that people want back, and they try to capitalize on the merch sales as soon as they can. Like Cross when he did that whole promo around WrestleMania season, all of those things. Very happy to see him back. Obviously, he put in the time and the effort like Cody did, like Drew did. I didn't think they would ever bring him back as Matt Cardona, but this shows that if you can go elsewhere and do something potentially better than what you were doing at WWE, that they are willing to bring you back. You got the American Nightmare, all those things, even the music from Cody. So I'm really looking forward to see what he does. Obviously, Chelsea, his wife, lost her championship the same night, which I thought was a little interesting. So we'll see what happens with that. But we were talking about, they're probably going to have to get the stank off of him or what have you. For me, I could see a feud with Ethan Page simply because of the work he had been doing with Chelsea Green. And I always was like, they should just have signed Matt Cardona to do some of this, but now they can potentially fight over her. And Chelsea's really great at emoting and using herself as a prop. Like, that could be really fun. Now, obviously, he's on the main roster. Ethan Page is not, for whatever reason. But I could see something along the lines of that. It's not like a love triangle, but it's like it is, but it isn't, right? And I would love to see Cardona and Ethan Page kind of go at each other for the rights to continue having the partner in Chelsea or what have you. So that is exciting prospect for me. He's obviously taken very good care of his body. He's got more of that look that a traditional main event WWE guy has. I'm not that hopeful that he will be in that main event title picture, but he's won the IC title before. He could probably potentially be in the running for mid-card championships, kind of like his wife. I mean, if his wife feels, and I think that's totally fine that she feels that way, but she feels like, I'm fine doing what I'm doing, being popular, getting paid, taking care of my family, being on TV. Like, if I never win the major championship, oh well. Like, I feel like maybe that permeates to her husband, and so they might just be fine being a good middle of the card act, where everybody's like, oh, well, main event this, main event that. It's like, well, the whole card, especially on 3-hour shows, needs to be enjoyable. So it's good to have these meaningful storylines, especially when it's a husband and wife. We saw what that did with Punk and AJ. We saw what that did with Seth and Becky. Like, you can run those things. We saw Miz and Maurice. We've seen it in the past with Cena. So there's mileage to be had there. I don't think we're going to get Chelsea distracting anybody. There goes my light. As soon as I did that, I don't think we're going to get that, but it could be something entertaining and fun to see as well. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm happy for him as a human being, as a performer, that he gets to continue using his real name in WWE now. So looking forward to that.
Thank you,
Your life
Gino.
keep you in check there, Gino.
Yeah, it's coming.
What, did it blow out?
No,
Yeah,
it's just not charged.
the light went no.
Yeah, I flashed and lost my flash.
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to
move
move over to Noah for his thoughts here on Cardona.
I mean, hey, it goes to show hard work pays off. You take a journey to discover yourself, and WWE realizes you may be of value to them, and they bring you back. I mean, you literally talked about the names verbatim. Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, the biggest examples. For Cardona, I could definitely see him winning the mid-card championship at least. Whether it's United States, the Intercontinental Championship, I think he and Camille Hayes will be a very interesting program, a first time ever. I also think because he was such a king of the indies, he'd be great for development. So let's see what he could do in NXT. If Oba Femi is due to go up to the main roster, maybe he could lead the NXT brand, because Lord knows they don't have enough baby faces down there or mainstream names to hold up the NXT brand. So maybe he could help lead that. As far as Chelsea Green and him go, I think what they're doing on their own works great. But personally, Chelsea Green should be the SmackDown Women's Champion 10 times more than Jade Cargill. She's far more entertaining, got far more personality, and actually can tell a story in the ring at normal speed. That's just another opinion of mine. But overall, I'm happy for Matt Cardona. I followed Matt Cardona through his duration on the independents, whether it's HLG, whether it's GCW, or more particularly when he's digital media champion, feuding ironically enough about the name, Joe Hendry. And that was some of the most fun television I remember back then for that title's early inception. So I could definitely see him and Joe Hendry pick up a program as well. So the good thing about Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder, except the fact he was death rebelled, there's possibilities across all three brands for him. So whether it's LA Knight, Joe Hendry, whether it's NXT, whether it's Cody Rhodes even, who's being confronted by multiple people this year, planting the seeds of, I'm coming at you for the championship. Start feeling the pressure. I think Matt Cardona offers a lot towards the future of not only himself, but to WWE. And I'm happy for the man.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And stranger things are going on down there with Gino. That's what's happening. So, all right, Aaron, I'm going to go over to you in case you want to add any more thoughts on your boy Cardona
my boy
and
Matt
the
Cardona.
Galaxy, of course.
As everybody has pretty much stated, we're happy for him. It's great that he came back after being gone for 5 years. He worked his ass off. He got rehired. Now, what do you do with him? That's the question. How far will he go? I don't see him being a world champion. I'm not sure he's going to go all that much further than he did as Zack Ryder. I think he'll be a solid mid-card performer, but I think he's basically there to help work with the younger talent and help them be elevated to the next level. I would be shocked if he won the world title at this point. I really would. I feel like he's going to be in that mid-card level, and maybe he eventually transitions to a trainer role or something like that. I think he'll be around, but I don't see him being a top-level guy. That's my take on Matt Cardona. With all due respect to him, he's a hardworking guy. He's passionate, but I just don't see him being that guy that they're going to build the company around, like a Cody Rhodes or somebody like that. I just don't see that happening with him, or even a Drew McIntyre. I don't see him having the kind of run that Drew had.
So they could do it with Drew and Cody, but you don't see it doing with Matt.
I do not see it with Matt.
What's the difference between all three of them?
I think Matt, that's a great question, Big G. I think Matt has some charisma, but I still feel like he doesn't really have a lot of depth beyond just coming out there doing the woo, woo, woo. And he's got the Rough Rider. In the ring, he's pretty good, but I think Drew McIntyre was better. And I think Drew McIntyre, when he came back, he put on some muscle. You look at Drew McIntyre 2013, 2014, when he came back, he put on some muscle and he just looked like an upper card guy. And I think Drew McIntyre was able to cut the promos in a way that I don't really think Matt Cardona can. Matt, he comes off a little bit cheesy, a little bit corny with his promo style. Drew McIntyre, very serious. And I think that's the biggest difference. I think Drew's a better promo, better in the ring, and just has a better main event look. But Ryder looks great. I will say that. And you never know. Will the crowd get behind him again? LA Knight caught on. Could Matt Cardona catch on? We'll see. But it's not like Matt Cardona was in AEW being an upper card guy, which I don't think they were ever going to push him in that regard.
Yeah.
But he did well for himself, and I think he'll have a solid run. Maybe he'll have an LA Knight-like run where he's towards the top, perhaps a little bit. But
it's just funny. I'm not mad at it. It's just funny how you guys are defending Cody and Drew, and they were in the same situation as Zack Ryder was. You know, Cody was Stardust, Drew was the chosen one,
right?
You know, and Zack Ryder, but you guys are comparing Zack Ryder to Matt Cardona.
But see, Cody was a main eventer, even though he got booked into the can't go for the title. He was a main eventer, main player in AEW.
Yeah.
Drew went to before Impact. He was the champion there, and
yeah,
and he was the chosen one back in the day anyway with Vince McMahon. I mean, there were. That's why you can elevate them a little bit higher than Cardona. Like if Cardona would have went to AEW and feuded against Hangman Page or something and held the title for a few months, you probably would.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nothing against
it. That's what I was going to say.
And who knows if they didn't want him to do that, or he chose to stick with the indies and the pay by appearances and win all the titles at all these like GCW and places like that. That could have been his choice.
And here's the difference too.
Upper mid card at best.
Yeah. Here's the other thing. Drew McIntyre came back 10 years ago. He was 30 years old when he came back to WWE. He's 40 now. Matt Cardona right now is 40.
Just now, right. Yeah.
That is going to work against him. Cody was in
that long ago.
So it was Gunther.
Isn't that crazy?
So it was AJ Styles.
AJ Styles had never been in WWE before. And I think people still, I'm not sure if people can shake the fact that Matt Cardona was like kind of seen as a joke for so long in WWE.
Well, the whole thing, Aaron.
I think he was able to shake off the 3MB persona when he came.
Exactly. Yeah. Drew went off, shook off the chosen one thing that Vince laid on him, shook off all the other gimmickry, and went out there, was a serious badass while he was gone, won the TNA or Impact, whatever the hell it was called that particular week, world title, and came back to NXT and established himself as a dominant force there too. And like Lucido said, he was able to go back to NXT and grow on that brand before he went back up. Cody left with that Stardust nonsense, went out, became Ring of Honor champion, became New Japan US champion, had a run in TNA, went everywhere, and if he wasn't the world champion, he was at the top of the card every single place he went. Matt, while he's been everywhere, he's not been the top of the card everywhere. He's been the attraction, but he's not been the main eventer. He has won championships all over, but not been the top person in any one spot. That is the difference coming back now.
Can anyone think of anybody that was really booked poorly and ended up becoming a top star? You know what I mean? That's future topic, but maybe the chat will start throwing some names in there. There has to be somebody, right?
But
somebody that was booked poorly that you could say never has a chance to main event, and then they became a main eventer.
That's a great topic for the future. But Big G, I appreciate you challenging our opinions. Well done there. I mean,
that was great.
We really do.
I just had to throw that out there. It's just like,
I'm all for it. That's
I mean,
what
that's
it's all about. You got to call us out. You got to say why. Explain your stance,
dude,
on
and
things.
that gives Big G more motivation to get behind Cardona in the event because they have 2 world titles. You never know; he could get a push in WWE this time, and Big G can be like Roman Reigns, like Virtue, but mine was Matt Cardona.
It's such a crowded roster too. Like I don't even think Drew's gonna have a world title again, even though I would like him to win.
I think he wins Friday. I still say that.
Anyway,
good luck with that.
Yeah,
good luck. He'll win in my motherland.
What else we got, Aaron, before we move to the main event?
So Dave Scheffler sent in $5. Shout out to Dave. Dave says, I'm happy Matt Cardona is back as Matt Cardona and not Zack Ryder. Yes. It's good he made the full circle, making it back. He'll be good for the mid card to start.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Start him off with the mid card. I'm not disagreeing with that, but like eventually down the line, depending on how long he stays with WWE this time.
You never know. If he sells merch and he's over with the fans, anything's possible.
If it happens, G, you're going to be the first one to come on this show and stick it up all our asses for it. So I hope it happens for you. I do.
All right, we got a $10 super chat from Corey Burke. Shout out to Corey. Thank you for the super chat. So this is a couple of interesting questions here about the new year. What is our honest opinion on today's wrestling product? I'll go first on this one. And he says, do you see wrestling having a strong 2026? And what changes or directions would you like WWE to take in 2026? I'll start. I enjoy the current wrestling product. Is it top tier? No, but I would take it over many years in the history of wrestling. I still think there are more good things than bad things. But of course, I do think it can be better and more intriguing, especially as we get into WrestleMania season. I do think wrestling will have a strong 2026. It may cool down a little bit unless they have some new stars start to shine and rise up. But they do have Obafemi. They got Javon Evans. They got a lot of guys in NXT that could potentially become top guys. If Chris Jericho comes back, that'll be a big deal. I think there are a lot of good things to look forward to in 2026. MJF is the AEW World Champion, so that's a positive for me too. And any changes or directions you would like WWE to take in 2026? Just what I've said before, I would like a little bit more unpredictability with the shows. Virtue, I think we talked about this. Like, I feel like the shows need a show-long storyline where you have the main characters appearing throughout the show. They did that a little bit with the Bloodline during the peak of the group. And I think we need more of that so people have a reason to want to tune in from start to finish instead of just, Gunther comes out for his interview and that's the last we see of him.
Dude, like who's producing? Like, and he's just laughing. Like he's supposed to be this stature, like the laughing is just throwing me off. And you know me, I've been a big Gunther fan this year. Like it might have been fine for one night after he beat Cena. Like it's like he's laughing because he's laughing at the marks, but it's just off-putting.
It's pretty much that because he's enjoying. I think he's just enjoying himself. Like,
I'd rather see him beat down, like just start wailing on AJ last night.
Well, look,
him down.
I would have mad dogged him. He mad dogged him
Put
yesterday.
Him in the sleeper. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Whatever.
Oh, I'm gonna love that match next week.
Well, Big G, to answer these questions, what do you think about where things are going? Are you looking forward to it?
I mean, I'm with what the questions that he just asked. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm content with today's wrestling product. You know, I'm gonna start giving AEW a chance again now that MJF is champ again. Wrestling will have a strong 2026. You know, like you said, Aaron, there might be a cool down period between like after WrestleMania, like it always does. What changes or directions do I want WWE to take in 2026?
Sign Jeff Jarrett?
No. You know, I mean, start pushing some of your younger stars. Like Raw just signed Javon Evans. We might be getting Obafemi. You know, SmackDown got Jordan Grace and Trick Williams. You know, start pushing your younger talent.
Trick Williams, he's another one.
So you know, they put the U.S. title on Carmelo Hayes, push him to the moon. You know, nothing. Oh my god, my wife over here to the moon. But yeah, that's nothing really else to say about that.
All right. Well,
Right. Well, it'd probably be quicker to go to the moon and back than it was for Big G to explain that right there. But
well,
that's okay. He got it out. He got it out. All right.
I just wanted to throw this over now to Gino. You know, WrestleMania should be a hot period, but you know, we're talking 6-7 months from now. Do you think it'll still continue its momentum?
Well, it has to build up momentum to continue it, in my opinion. And like you've mentioned on your post shows, they're not even like really building up for the Royal Rumble right now. It almost feels like they're embarrassed about it being in Saudi, so they don't want to address it at all until it's on the precipice. The thing is, you can push all these younger stars if you want and try to make them stars and whatever, have them win matches, whatever. They've got a young star in Braun Breaker and they're pushing him, but like, I don't understand. They made him look like Ryback last night. Sorry to mention his name.
We're gonna talk
Like,
Damn.
yeah, and we'll talk about that. But as far as wrestling in 2026, I want to see better storylines. Your characters are only as good as your story. We've had countless movies show us how bad established characters can be when the story isn't good, and it just feels like they were so complacent when they had Cena to get people in the door, and now he's gone. And they're not really doing much with Gunther. Like, yeah, like he's just going to get slapped in the face and then not beat somebody down. Like, no, Gunther. And it comes all back to Undertaker saying he needs to look vulnerable and weak as a heel. And it's bullcrap. Ever since that day, Gunther hasn't been booked as strong as he should. But I don't want to go off on that tangent. I just want to say, moving forward in 2026, the storytelling through the big two companies needs to be improved. And people shouldn't be able to say, well, JCW is telling better stories in wrestling than these big production companies.
And look, I'm not saying things have to be supernatural because you know how that has been over the years. But doesn't WWE have more access to writers with like being on Netflix and like who writes Stranger Things? You got to think if those people are creative and get millions and millions of people to be invested in that show, can't you like get some ideas and put them into wrestling? Again, not the supernatural, but just creative cliffhangers. Like, don't they have access to this stuff? And it's like, did they really utilize it? I don't know.
No, their cliffhangers are to cut off in the middle of something we actually want to see. Like you got people going at each other for war games, and then we're just gonna cut it, even though it's on Netflix and we know there's no time reason to cut it. It's like, oh, tune in next week, but we're not going to address what just happened. And I remember it was probably about a decade ago. There was it got released like what WWE's like they're looking for writers, and like whatever you call the job search posting was like must have 10 years in television writing. Like they're it feels like they're looking for the wrong things. You mentioned Stranger Things, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but people are sour on the last season because whatever, but it doesn't feel like people know how to, especially at Netflix. They don't know how to make narrative storytelling. They know how to use like analytics. Like this is what gets eyes on the product. If we do this in the first 5 minutes, then people will watch this and blah, 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 blah. So they had a great first 5 minutes. And then and then they had the title change. Oh, maybe people will stay, but they had a commercial like 10 minutes into the thing. It's like, what, like, it just needs to be better produced and better storytelling. I don't want to go on a rant because we are going to address that in the next topic.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of shows that end, a lot of fans will always, at least 40 or 50% of them, will always shit on the creative because their show is now over. And that's what I think happened with Stranger Things.
Yeah. And it didn't end the way
sometimes the endings are anticlimactic, like Lost. But, you know, I don't know. Just it's a difficult job. But Aaron, what else on this topic?
Anybody wanted to add anything to that? Or
no, Roman Reigns, like I said, build him back up as the top guy of all wrestling, and then use them to catalyst, push some of your new generation. Like I said last week or the week. 2 weeks.
There it is.
Whoa.
Oh Lord.
That was the day after WrestleMania.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years. That's crazy.
You said walking into a restaurant. I didn't know you meant a fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
In and out. In and out.
The haircut was expensive. I'll tell you that. There was a lot of hair to shave on Aaron, so we had to compensate accordingly. But with the creative stuff, you mentioned the last episode of Lost. People are still talking about the Sopranos ending. Yeah. We still know what the hell happened there, and he
died.
Well, and that's the thing, Jeff. The fans that like when shows give them the outcome they predicted, it's the greatest thing of all time. Right? When shows give them an outcome they didn't predict, then they're mixed on it or really, really hate it because they all, everybody wants what they want to happen, right? That's how wrestling fans are.
That's why it's called a curveball. People that play baseball hate to hit the curve.
And sometimes writing is bad, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
95 WWF, for example.
Yeah. Ever see the movie Sucker Punch? There you go.
Oh, God.
It's great with the sound off.
All right, what else we got here? Anything else? Or maybe
all right, yes, Tito is here. Mr. Tito, shout out to Tito. Happy New Year. Tito says that Raw and SmackDown pay-per-views are PLE infomercials.
That's a good segue.
A waste of time. Do you guys think they're a waste of time?
Yes.
I mean, it's getting there. If it's
not, it's a challenge. I don't like sitting around watching 3 hours of SmackDown.
But remember back in the day when you'd watch Raw for 2, and I know things got stretched to 3 with like Nitro, but sometimes it would be over and you'd want more. I mean, a lot of times when it was over, you'd want more.
Right.
Did we really have? Now we're like, good, it's over. We can go to bed.
Yes.
Exactly. That's how I feel. Yeah, Gino?
I will say there is that feeling of wanting more, but not because they gave us something so delicious we want to reorder it, but because they're slow dripping anything good that they have storytelling wise.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how can we get, if we like the Sopranos cut to black in the middle of a sentence, it's like, that's what they're doing to end Raws. And it's like, then they're not addressing it the next week. I get it. Yeah. It's tough because you have no off season. You have to come up with all this content and I'm calling it content because that's how Netflix views it, especially. It's content. It's not, it's just about making the moments. And you even hear wrestlers who are with the company, who aren't with the company, they talk on the interviews and they say, listen, wrestling is about making moments. So it just feels like they're just trying to throw moment making things at the screen instead of giving it some type of narrative flow or purpose. Like you mentioned, Aaron, and mentioned plenty of times, having your top guys or top gals on multiple segments gives you a through line for at least your episode. Yeah. Like it should be able to stand on its own and be an enjoyable product. Otherwise, you just cut it down to 2 hours or less and give us only the good and none of the filler.
No, Gino, I think that changed with the demise of WCW because even in 2000, when WWF was clearly trouncing WCW, even in late 2000, we saw the thread of, okay, Mick Foley was going to deliver Who Ran Over Austin. That ran through that whole 2 hours of that show in Anaheim and then the reveal of Rikishi. The following year, the threads kind of fell off as they were trying to put together the invasion stuff. And it's really not recovered from my perspective. So it's competition breeds that need to be better than, you're saying, we don't want more because it was so good. We want different. We want something that we haven't been presented in a while. I think in more than 2 decades, we need more. Or different.
Aaron?
Yes, he did. Yes, the whole storyline should have won an Emmy.
I liked the Sopranos ending, by the way.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I just wanted and again, the want to have a definitive thing. Like you said, Virtue, subjective. It's like we want. But like if we got the ending we wanted, then we'd be like, oh yeah, it's the greatest thing. Or we'd be like, oh well, that's it. So everything's subjective.
You know what show had the best ending?
Oh God.
No,
I don't. Go ahead.
Better Call Saul.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Okay, yeah, that's
bingo. 9.9 IMDb for Breaking Bad's ending.
Because there was nothing for anybody to complain about. Everything that people wanted happened, but the problem is sometimes what we want doesn't happen. Our speculation becomes expectation.
That writing crew probably looked and saw what the fans were wanting and got together, put it all down and said, how can we incorporate all of this? Everybody's happy, right? Yep. That's probably what they did.
Yeah. And it made sense.
Tie up the loose ends. Some shows just don't tie up their loose ends and it's not satisfying.
and partially they don't get the chance to because they're canceled, and then the network just says screw it. But
That
sometimes
is true.
Aaron,
they have
where
the
are we?
chance
So
and
we
they
can move
should.
on to talking about Raw.
Okay.
Yeah, for real.
Well, yeah, we better get moving here because you know who has arrived. But first, Ian sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Ian. Says, fun fact, my first no DQ&A video, I thought Aaron looked like John Cryer.
2.5 Men.
So Ducky era John Cryer or 2.5 Men era John Cryer? That's
Or Lex Luthor. Probably Lex
Or
Luthor.
Lex.
John
Yeah, that's
Cryer.
or Lex.
Luthor,
That's-
yeah.
Okay, let us know, Ian.
Lex Luthor.
Which era of John Cryer are we talking about with Aaron?
Yeah, I didn't really watch the show, so couldn't tell you if that's accurate or not. What's his name? Charlie Sheen, right? The guy that got fired.
Yeah, it's Charlie Sheen's brother on the show, John Cryer.
On the show, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Didn't watch it, so don't know who you're talking about. All right.
You would if you saw his resume.
He said 2.5 Men, John Cryer. Okay.
I know who Charlie Sheen is. That's about it.
Okay.
All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Psycho. Says, happy 2026, better late than never, hashtag NoDQ.com.
Aww.
Say yes to NoDQ.com.
Decent of him.
Thank you, Psycho Jet Black. Welcome. Jeremy Dorset sent in $2. Thank you for that. Says, Jeff Jarrett,
No.
the NWO in 2000.
Not Jeff Jarrett. He's talking to me about the lack of finish. Yeah. The thing is, they should have been brought in the first place. They should have never been in the WWF in the first place. We got Hogan back, and that was great. But having the NWO be Vince's instrument of destruction was silly. It was just stupid.
I will say, I still remember him sitting there in that little makeup chair thing when he's like,
Yes.
turns around. I did as a young pre-teenager. I thought that was
That
like I didn't
promo was
really
solid.
even I just
That
know
was a
them from the
thread
video games more
throughout
than
the show,
WCW.
and it was good.
Yes.
But the introduction,
Isn't
and
that
then
when he
them
did his
coming in,
classic evil face? He's going to inject venom into the WWE.
Inject them with a lethal dose of
poison. Good thread throughout the show, but the delivery was what it was. The best part about that was Scott Hall taking that super stunner. Like, seriously.
That setup for the NWO was better than the actual NWO that they
Exactly. Yes.
All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Psycho. Says, who in 2026 will have a worse year than 2025? Probably Jey Uso. I don't think he's going to win another world title.
Right. My bar
might have better matches.
That's a great question, Psycho. I appreciate the great question for sure. It's a tough.
You guys got any ideas?
I mean, it's hard to say on January 6th, to be fair.
Yeah.
You know,
Matt
still...
Cardona.
You know, it really depends what they do with him storyline wise, because he had a really good year money wise and what he got to do in the Indies. So that might not be the wrong answer.
Yeah, it's tough to say, but I would go with Jey Uso just for the fact that I don't see him winning another world title this year, if ever. Probably Solo's going to have a worse year because I don't know what you do with him once the MFPs run out of steam.
Oh, unless they fire him. How is it worse? Unless they just straight fire him.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Well, he did win the U.S. title once or twice this year. He has been.
You're not going to release him. He's part of the Samoan bloodline. They're gonna
he's not going anywhere.
Well, Rikishi would definitely call out WWE for that one.
We know John Cena's going to have a worse year in wrestling this year than he did last year, but
probably why it's 6 because I feel like those guys are going nowhere.
They aren't.
All right,
they're going nowhere fast.
Nope.
Let's go. The show's going nowhere.
Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. He says, "Will Braun Breaker win the Royal Rumble or the Chamber?" I could see him winning one of them.
Nope,
the Rumble.
You guys don't think so?
Nope.
No chance. Last night was very telling.
I'm a little surprised.
Should have been last night.
Remember, WWE already told us who the
go on to WrestleMania.
I mean, if they end up having a multiple person main event at WrestleMania with one of the titles, then maybe we can consider him.
That's fair.
But I think Cody, Punk, and then who knows if Rollins will be back or not, or other. You know, I just don't see it. He could, but
not much confidence in Braun Breaker right now. Interesting.
That's not no. Is
it because he botched the Breakensteiner?
It's no confidence in the booking of Braun Breaker.
Okay,
that's what I don't have confidence in. He should have won the damn title last night
in his first title match.
Yep.
No,
Yeah, he should have.
They missed the opportunity to put the strap on him when Seth had relinquished it. They didn't even put him in that battle royal.
Yep, exactly.
They're just, and they already told us who the main events of for both the men and the women at WrestleMania are going to be 3-4 months ago when they started airing these promo packages. I don't even understand. Like, it's like, are we supposed to expect Drew to win? I know Jeff does, and I would love that, but no. Are we expect Braun to be? No, it's going to be Brock, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes, and like they already spoiled it for us. So it's like,
yep.
I just don't believe that he's going to win any of those title match specific matches.
Yeah, I thought going in, Braun Breaker was not winning the title. I was not shocked at all by that, and I figured he'll come back and maybe win the Rumble or something. But you guys seem like that is not even in the realm of possibility.
I just think there's too many main eventers, old or young, ahead of him at this point.
Well, that's why I think Zack Ryder / Matt Cardona's got a very big uphill battle if he wants to be a world champion. Psycho Jeff Black sent in $2. Thank you, Psycho. Says Jeff with a beard reminds me of Kevin Smith. Is that the director?
Okay.
Silent Bob, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's fair. Okay. Sure, why not?
Maybe because
I think he was talking about that picture from the restaurant.
No, because he said beard. I have no beard in that picture whatsoever. So yeah.
Doesn't Kevin Smith wear like a flannel shirt similar to Jeff's? Or
I guess.
I don't know.
Wrong panelist asked that question. Don't know.
Tito, shout out to Tito. So this will be our transition to the main event. Bigger bomb, the first Raw of 2026 or Venezuela? Okay, am I the only one that thought Raw was actually pretty good and not a terrible show? Seems like the internet hated that Raw.
On the IWC, you probably are the only one.
Feel eventful to me.
Yeah, thank you, Virtue. Yeah,
go ahead, Virtue.
Much like Noah, not Noah. Sorry, Noah. My son talked about.
Well, we're going to talk about Raw, if we ever get to there. I mean,
underwhelming was the word of the day for that Raw, much like Survivor Series.
Say it like Mark Briscoe.
Who?
The word of the day.
Underwhelming was Raw.
You got to say it like Mark Briscoe.
No, because I don't watch AEW.
No.
I think you want a little lispy twang in there.
Lispy twang. I can do a dusty lip.
Sound like Dusty, yeah.
It sounds like Dusty Rhodes.
I can do a dusty one. Whatever works, baby. Whatever works. It was underwhelming, if you will. Virtue, for the love of God, get this show going again.
All right, Virtue, what's the word of the day?
I don't know. Do I make one up?
Act like you're Mark Briscoe. Give us the word of the day.
Oh my God! Come on, let's just go already.
Pass.
Tranquilo, Big G. Tranquilo. Give it a Virtue now.
Lord.
All right, go ahead.
Ready for the main event?
Let's do it. Camera's on you.
We're talking about Raw, right? I just think that for the first Raw of the new year on Netflix, 1 year anniversary, and not to the day. Was it to the day or no? It's the day later, right?
Today's the day.
Pretty close to the day.
So it's just like, we had Becky won the IC title back. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky won the women's tag belts. And, CM Punk retained, and they did this whole Stranger Things and kept having the announcers hyping it up. And, just to give us a little something during the show, like a return of Jericho or just something. And it just, to me, it wasn't horrible, but it just wasn't eventful. It didn't have that, big push into the new year. Let's get everybody excited. Royal Rumble season. It just felt like they were coasting to me. So let's go around the horn, and we know what Aaron kind of thinks, so we'll get back to him. But Big G, thoughts on Raw? It would have been nice to see him do a thread throughout the whole. I mean, Gunther came out laughing. I made Cena tap. Got smacked by AJ. Didn't do anything about it. What is going on? I just was like, okay, here we are. It felt like an end of the year Raw still to me. A couple title changes.
So for me, I mean, I enjoyed the whole Stranger Things thing, in a way with the vines and stuff that came up from the upside down. It was around the arena. They had the two vans that were very important in the show. I'm a big Stranger Things fan, so I enjoyed it. Could they have had the actors or actresses from the show there, like Millie Bobby Brown? She could have been there last night, or something like that. Have some of the actors in the crowd or even interact backstage. I think JJ mentioned yesterday, have Millie Bobby Brown and interact with Rhea Ripley, because you remember a couple years back Rhea Ripley played 11 in one of those vignettes for Hollywood 39. So that would have been kind of a cool throwback. As far as the show, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, I wanted to put you on the spot. The finale of Stranger Things and the episode before that, thumbs up or thumbs down? Because I've seen
I enjoyed the whole season 5. You know, there's
I
some
didn't have
people
any real issues with either of those last 2 episodes, and a lot of the
I didn't
internet
either.
hated those
And
last
the
2
thing
episodes.
is, they just a real quick thing. They had put the season 5 finale out in select theaters, and it did well in the box office just for that finale. So the people who didn't enjoy, anyways, okay, that's a different topic. Anyways, going back to it, I enjoyed the little setup. They could have, like I said, they could have done a little bit more with having some of the actors and actresses there, or even thrown in some of the wrestlers. They could have worn some kind of like Stranger Things gear or something like that. It felt like me, and I think people are complaining about it because it felt more women's wrestler based. You know, we had a lot of women's matches on there, a lot of women's segments, which I'm fine with. I think, and here we go again, the IWC expecting Jericho to come back, and that's what everybody was so excited about, because there were the rumors of Jericho could be coming back on Monday Night Raw. And I was like, I'm gonna believe it when I see it. I'm tired of reading dirt sheets and hearing all these rumors and stuff like that. You know, we had this with The Rock a couple years ago.
It wasn't just that big, G. Like, we couldn't even get Roman Reigns.
Okay,
Like,
I'm getting to that.
Brock Lesnar, not all of them, but one of them. Not one of them.
I know. Okay, yeah. One of them could have showed up after the main event. You know. And like Aaron pointed out, you know, they haven't really hyped up the Royal Rumble yet, which hopefully they'll start doing maybe this Friday or next Monday. But, you know, Maxine losing the title, I think she lost it because she's going on her honeymoon now. But like, which is weird. Dom is injured, but he's still the IC champion. So why couldn't they have kept it on Maxine? She was doing great.
Because he's over.
Yeah. And Maxine was starting to get there too, you know. Rio and Io winning the tag team titles, I wasn't shocked about that. They kind of are the top 2 female baby faces in the company right now. The Gunther and AJ thing was kind of okay. You know, we're getting their first match next week in Germany, and I think Gunther is going over in that first match. And, you know, after that segment happened, Virtue, you know, they did kind of go backstage and they both got in their faces. Gunther's like, I want you. And then, you know, AJ was like, all right, well, they'll have the match next week. So they kind of did something more with that.
Did he beat him down? What happened to beating somebody down, having to get pulled off in the back? Like when something like that happens.
Well, yeah. I mean,
get some heat.
So look at the Raquel and Stephanie segment. You know, they kind of did that backstage too, and they could have done that with Gunther too, but I don't think they went too many of the beat up backstage segments or whatever. Anyways, you know, and then you got the Usos that came out and did their little promo thing, which was all right. Then you had the main event.
So you're recapping Raw right now. What do you think? But what do you think of these things?
I thought it was okay. I thought the show was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Raw. You know, the main event, it was what it was. I did say last night that I thought Breaker would win the title, but like during the match, I thought it wasn't really going to happen. So, but overall, I thought it was a great show, in my opinion. You know, the IWC can suck it.
Whoa!
Oh, and although you are part of the IWC, just so you know. All right, go ahead, Noah.
All right, let me make it simple for you. Black, mid, yawn. No big surprises, no big show ups. They were trying to make Maxie a star, ruin it. The newest title in WWE, hot potato. Go figure. They can't do anything original or creative if their life depended on it. Braun Breaker winning the title, not going to happen as long as CM Punk is Mr. TKO 1 year ago, won the main event. He's holding on to the championship heading into the Elimination Chamber in Chicago. Y'all really surprised by any of this nonsense? Give me a break. As far as Monday Night Raw, it's on Netflix. It's not wrestling, it's reality. You're going to feel underwhelmed, especially at this point. Sorry for all the Stranger Things fans. You didn't get a freaking actor or actress pop-up. And as far as Stephanie, she has no competition. What do? You try to make her feel relevant again. You write her off. Build Raquel and Stephanie as much as you did Tiffany and Nia. Bored out of my gourd. AEW year-end did more in its 2 hours than Raw did, and SmackDown's 3 hours did more than Raw's 2 hours did. They better get their creative on track. Oh, and by the way, as far as that super chat, kill Death Rebel. Maybe your product will be better to listen to. Now move on to the next person.
All right. Well, thank you, Noah. So we got a couple sides of the spectrum. Well, Aaron on one, Noah on the other. Big G kind of close to Aaron.
Noah's more of an AEW, New Japan, Indies guy, so I'm not surprised by his take.
Let's do Gino.
TNA for that matter.
Gino. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just want to start out by saying whether you liked it or whether you disliked it or you're somewhere in between, you're right. It's all at the end of the day, it's a television show, whether we like it or whether we dislike it. It's how it hits us, and it hits everybody in different ways. It's wrestling. It's an experiential event. I just want to address the whole break the walls down thing. Like, everybody was like, Jericho's coming. And I was like, I'm not buying it at all. Like, why would you not have him at the Rumble? Why would you bring him back in for, like, it made no sense. There's nowhere to bring him back in that whole night, even though I'm sure you could think your way into it. But this is a Stranger Things tie-in. If you watch the season, there was a wall that needed to be broken down. So yeah, I'm sure Pierce knew what he was doing in saying that and getting people to think Jericho, but we all expect him to come back at the Rumble. Like, that's where it makes the most sense, even though, like Aaron said.
Don't say that there was nothing they could have brought him back at Monday night. He has a vast history with CM Punk and has pretty much lost all of his major matches to CM Punk in the WWE. And so for him to come back and have cost CM Punk to give Braun Breaker the up-and-coming, like, you could have done something. Don't say there was nothing. There was something they could have done. But, you know.
I completely agree with that. Yeah. But clearly they wanted the title to stay on CM Punk. So with that in mind, you don't bring Jericho back and then Punk still wins, right? You might as well save that for another moment. I think Braun should have won. He has all of his teammates coming out, and then they needed freaking Penta and Dragon Lee to come down and save CM Punk. Like, how underwhelming is that, right? Like, there was a lot of underwhelming moments in the show. I mean, it was great. We started off with the title change. When I saw that, I was like, okay, well, this isn't the main event because it's not the world title, but it feels like WWE likes to spin their wheels until the big show, this New Year show, so they can make the changes to the product that they frankly should have been making earlier in, later in the last year, whatever, earlier in the season. They touted the Stranger Things thing, and it was pretty cool. They had the episode title coming into the screen and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, that integration was great. But Corey Graves and Michael Cole, they had a great way to start the show. But then he's like, it's 80s night everywhere here. It was only in the set. Dude, it wasn't in the ropes.
Look, you could have also had, like I said, during the main event when Braun Breaker was, beating Punk, maybe close to winning, had something show up on the Titantron, turn upside down, an upside down countdown. Jericho comes out, but actually just distracts Breaker enough for Punk to be able to beat Breaker, keep the title, and then he's still champ, right? And then you can have a program with Jericho and Punk for Royal Rumble where Punk would go over, because Jericho at this point in his career, right, just there to. But I'm just saying, there's plenty of possibilities. You can't, and they don't want to do it. Now, they'd rather if Jericho is coming back to WWE, they'd rather save it for a pop for Royal Rumble, which he ain't winning.
Right.
And like I said, it's not just about Jericho. No Roman Reigns.
No Reigns. No Chad Gable, who, mind you, he has been wrestling on the live shows. He is healthy. He is ready to return. I'm not saying they couldn't have found a way to write him in, but after the fact, looking at what they decided to have happen, I mean, I would rather Jericho cost Punk the title. That would have been awesome, because they, in my opinion, had the best match at WrestleMania 28, which I was at, and nobody gave them their flowers, which was upsetting to me. like I want Jericho back for sure, but it just feels like they probably were patting themselves on the back. We've got so much good going on in the show. I have no problem with them trying to feature their stars. They signed Javon Evans during a commercial break, which I had to find out about after the fact when I'm watching Aaron's recap and stuff like that. It's just like, 3 or 4 times this season. I can't say this year because it's the new year, but Triple H promised epic, right? And then you're doing a crossover with Stranger Things, which just ended. So there's no real reason for Stranger Things fans to tune into WWE, even if the actors are there. Like, for the most part, the actors aren't that well liked. The characters are liked. The actors, you hear about all this drama going on behind the scenes. So people expecting the actors or expecting Jericho or expecting.
What's wrong with that, though? It's the first Raw of the year. And I thought the first Raw on Netflix a year ago was kind of underwhelming when you really look back on it.
For sure.
For sure.
So it's like, give us something. Make it, and then you can go into dull mode for the next few weeks, but then we'll get excited for the Royal Rumble. Just one time. That's what I'm saying. The first of the year. You could have done just something little creative. I'm countering you because, some people might have enjoyed last night, but I don't think it's going to get people excited for wow, oh my God, maybe, wow. Again, I think maybe my biggest issue with it, Gino, is no Roman Reigns. I think I was almost thinking he was Royal Rumble season. He's got to get into the Mania main event. What's one date? He can come back for one date, early January. No Roman Reigns.
Virtue.
None.
What? Yeah.
What about the new Raw theme song, that Eminem track?
Well, we'll see if it catches on with me.
I'm not sure it's a good fit personally.
It didn't feel like it. I'm just happy no more Travis Scott theme song. No,
I'd rather have this than that for sure.
Yeah,
I agree
for
about
sure.
that. Virtue, would you rather have Roman show up and get beaten down though again at the end of the show? Or
No, he's due back to come back and kick somebody's ass and say I'm winning the Royal Rumble or whatever it has to take. Enough of him getting beat up all the time. That's what happened way too much. I told you, push him to the moon one more time because he is the tribal chief. And then when you get him up there, now this can be the time where you can use him not to elevate Cody, but to elevate that next generation star as Roman Reigns finally starts heading into the twilight of his career. So that's what I wanted. He didn't come back yet, and I'm sure he'll come back and, it may to get a pop, right? Roman returns. Maybe they didn't want that, guys. Maybe they didn't want Roman returns and having the fans make fun of it. Roman returns.
You know why?
For the 100th time. What?
You know why? Because they're going to be in Germany next week, so they're going to wait for that bigger European pop.
You think Roman returns in Germany?
Yep. He's going to get that pop.
Anything else you got before I pass it to Jeff?
Yeah, at the end of the day, the word of the day for me with last night's Raw was underwhelming. It should have been a big start to the year to get us looking forward to Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season. Get these guys showcased on a level, do something excitingly innovative. The whole night was summed up when I heard AJ Styles' music when Gunther was talking, because I was like, oh God, are they really going to give us this early on in the year? Because Gunther theoretically is going to be retiring AJ, so they're starting that program. Then Gunther looks like an actual little B by letting somebody slap him and not throwing him into the front row. It's just a bunch of stuff that they could have over-delivered to get us all excited. Like Pierce said it, there are a lot of eyeballs on today's product, like the show right now, tonight. And I don't think they capitalized on any of that, to be honest.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Gino. I'm going to go over to Jeff now. Meacham.
I'm going to try to keep mine short and sweet because I know we're past the top of the hour. Look, I said it when we were starting this segment. My son called Survivor Series underwhelming, and we were there live. You guys talked about last year's debut on Netflix being underwhelming. I was there for that live too. I didn't feel that because I was in the arena, in the dome. Watching last night's Raw, I was underwhelmed. I didn't have any expectations about Chris Jericho. I think we all know that, they're out to, set the troll traps up in place. And that's 100% what Pierce did. 100% what Pierce did on social media. Adam has been around so long, he's a vet, he gets it, right? And WWE, whatever TKO is doing. I know there's a super chat about the TKO and WWE being ruined or whatever, but they do know what they're doing when it comes to throwing the WWE universe off. I enjoyed portions of Raw. I loved the title changes that did happen. I never expected Maxine Dupree to have a long, big old, reign or whatever. So I enjoyed the parts of Raw that I knew I would enjoy. I didn't enjoy the parts I knew I wouldn't enjoy. It's okay, guys. Not every show, 52 weeks a year, is going to be a home run. Nope. Could they have done better creatively? Absolutely. All right. But I enjoyed last year's Raw debut on Netflix more because I was there.
Oh, out of the two, I remember I said last year's was a little underwhelming, but I preferred it over this year's first Raw.
It was a blast to be a part of that.
The Rock there that said absolutely nothing, right? But nothing.
No, see, for me, it was those two nights, being around that energy, being in LA. Having the Rock on NXT was bizarre, but I had a good time at this show, and I had a good time at Raw. This year, even if I'd been there, I probably would have been like, okay.
All right.
There you go. What of the day? It's undeserving. It's WWE got their tail between their legs. Might as well neuter their asses with a kind of created.
Yep.
Aaron.
Yeah. I enjoyed Raw, but I get everybody's points. It could have been better for the first Raw of the year. I would like to see the build-up for the Royal Rumble really kick into high gear. That was maybe my biggest issue with the show, but I enjoyed the women's tag team title match, even though it is a hot potato title change. Maxine Dupree losing was meh. I would have liked to have seen Natalya come out there. Main event was great. And as Jeff said, I didn't really have any expectations for Jericho to be there. I think Adam Pearce damn well knew what he was doing when he made that break the walls down reference. And fans bought into it. People bought tickets last minute for Monday Night Raw, maybe thinking that Chris Jericho was going to return. But the way they do things, especially with Chris Jericho, he doesn't want it to be obvious. They like to keep people guessing and make it as much of a surprise as possible.
Was there other Easter eggs last night? Didn't you say Corey Graves said learning tree? So they're probably going to milk that there's going to be one, maybe two weird things the announcers say or something. That's what'll probably happen.
Remember when CM Punk was close to coming back, they started dropping little teasers on commentary and little cryptic things about CM Punk. Remember with Bray Wyatt, before he came back, they were doing the little teasers. Like they know what they're doing to get the buzz and get people talking. So yeah, Jeff.
Well, but to counter what you said about Punk, both Punk and Hunter have said he was not officially on paper until he walked into Gorilla. So all those hints they were throwing down, it could have just been like, oh, we were just saying it, and it never would have come to fruition. The fact that Punk and them actually talked that week and he got into, walked into wherever the hell they were, the Allstate, the Rosemont Horizon, sorry, and signed right then, it could have been a bunch of red herrings. It still could be red herrings with Jericho. But I do want to point out he's still on the AEW roster page.
Right.
People leave that company. Tony has no problem going, nope, you're out of here, bye.
Yep.
And Jericho's still on that page. So as of now,
Tony's doing a solid for Chris Jericho. But what if Chris Jericho shows up on Dynamite? What a swerve that would be. Virtue, would you watch Dynamite again if Jericho returned?
If Chris Jericho shows up on Dynamite,
I would quickly move on. I mean, I would keep up with the, through NoDQ and the social media clips and stuff like that, like I do. But I wouldn't be drawn to. I mean, what was the last thing he did? Was the learning tree? Like, so
he is.
You know what I mean? Like, while I did like the high guys, and he was kind of throwing shade back to like Jim Cornette and his detractors, that was cool. But the whole gimmick still wasn't cool.
Well, what if he comes back more like his old Y2K
goes after MJF or something?
Goes after MJF.
Yeah, I enjoyed AEW that first year, especially the first 6 months. Like, you know what I mean? When Jericho was and the first 3 months when we didn't know Tony Khan was doing anything, and then he had to come out and say, "I'm the booker, end all be all," and then to me, AEW went
for quite a while.
He would have just stayed. If he would have stayed anonymous. If we didn't have to know his business through the dirt sheets, who knows? I might have stayed aboard AEW ship a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. We got a lot of super chats here, so let's get to those now. Thank you to everybody that sent in super chats. So First of all, Psycho Jet Black wanted to know, can we see the Jeff Jarrett pick? Well, I did post it at the beginning, but since you super chatted,
Lord.
sorry, Big G.
Stranger Things. That's like
Isn't there a clip or
that's
something
like
that
the upside down world or whatever. That's Stranger Things right there. Picture.
Ah.
Something's off about it.
well, Aaron, wasn't that like
You
I
seen
think
this
they
for
were
the
talking about
first
this
time?
video clip or something. What are they talking about?
Oh, from JJ.
They're just talking about the photo.
Oh, okay. All right.
So Mr. Tito is fairly confident that this Netflix deal isn't going to go the full 10 years. He says,
Oh, it
no
will.
way Netflix does the full 10 years, opt out at 5. Virtue.
I
do
mean,
you-
will.
let's really look at this. Fox got far away from WWE, right? I mean, right? They didn't stay.
But they still honored the 5 years.
You know, it happens. I mean, there's networks that will just be like,
Buyer's
yeah,
remorse.
we tried it, but. And here's the thing, though. The sad thing is, WWE will always find a way to put their content on somewhere. So, like, say they lost Netflix, they go right back to Peacock. Even if they don't quite get the deal, Nick Khan will trick somebody. There'll be some mark in an executive position at some company that WWE will be able to milk a 5-year contract out of. That's the thing of it. That's where they're at. That's why no matter what they put out, they're always going to make that money. And then they got Saudis, too. You think the Saudis are done after 10 years? It's just getting started.
No.
There's still a chance in the future they could own WWE. TKO, they could sell it all to them.
Oh yeah.
If the money's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
WWE will be fine even if
Just saying.
Netflix dropped them after 5 years. WWE will find another home. That's not going to be a problem.
Oh, that for sure. Yeah.
Shout out to Oofman. Oof sent in $5. Thank you for the super chat. Oof says they put more attention to the set designs and graphics than for the script of the show.
Well, Lord
Yeah,
knows
that's why I
they
just
change their
wanted
set
something
one time a
weird to
year.
happen with the wrestling part of it by all that effort they put into Stranger Things, and really nothing.
Yep. The one time a year they changed their set to actually have personality, and they did butt kiss.
Yeah, I mean anything like. I don't know.
Why can't we get that for the pay-per-views though? Like what they did with Stranger Things, and have some of that stuff for the pay-per-views. Bring back some of those actual physical props on the.
Dude, would that not have been like badass if like they started playing weird Stranger Things stuff at the end of the main event?
Yes.
And then like somebody came out and they looked like in a costume like Stranger Things. I don't know, one of the monsters or whatever.
Well, somebody said that.
And then they got all the way to the ring, and then
Vecna.
the lights went out, and then the lights came back on, and it was Brock Lesnar, and he just cleared house, no contest. Dude, like just anything. I know that doesn't excite a lot of people, but to me that would have been awesome.
They definitely could have done more with it.
Yeah, it could have been Seth Rollins even teasing the idea.
Anybody. I just said Brock because he was on my mind at the time.
Aaron, Brock Lesnar coming out as Vecna.
Anything. Like they should have had somebody under the costume. And even though they did the ambulance match on SmackDown, they should have done something with people being thrown into the van and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just fun. They didn't even do that.
All right, what do we got next?
All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Thank you for that.
Go.
Says, imagine a WWE Stranger Things belt. Who would win it?
Well, they showed it last night on TV.
Brave's
They had
not
a
around
Stranger Things
anymore,
belt.
so I can't think.
Oh,
of
Dallas.
Uncle Howdy, yeah, there you go.
Well, howdy.
Yeah,
Rhea
Uncle Howdy
Ripley.
or anyone in the White Six.
All right. Jeremy Dorset sent in a $5 super chat. Says, if Chris Jericho shows up tomorrow night on Dynamite and not Raw or SmackDown, it will be a terrible swerve, and the IWC/YWC would be at an uproar.
Terrible to who?
But
Terrible
see,
to who? I would
Yeah,
watch
I
for that
agree.
shit.
say he decided, him and Khan worked something out, and he decided to stay there, and everybody's expectation was for Jericho to go. If you have found some really creative thing and feud to put him in and make it, I would be all for that. But I have zero confidence that would happen. You'd have that initial buzz. Oh, he ended up back in AEW, and then it would go to nothing.
Yep.
And I know Noah, you like AEW,
I do.
but it's about the matches, and Tony's creativity beyond the matches to me just isn't there. It's just not
I
there.
agree also, but
He
also
wants to
leads
cater to the wrestling fans who like the cage report matches or whatever that is.
cage match. Dude, I just go to that with championship days and accolades. Anyone that believes in ratings is a idiot. I almost said the wrong word, but I'm not trying to demonetize Aaron. As far as this goes, yeah, it would be a pop. Oh, look, he's following the Paul Levesque strategy. How well will that pay off in the long haul, Tony Khan? Nah, I don't see that happening. Again, with MJF, it's a reset because with him, there's in-ring psychology versus just watching a match. And that is also another reason why I like AEW, because MJF offers me something different and exciting this run than he did the first time.
But I'm pretty confident Jericho's going to end up back in WWE.
I am too.
In a month, within the month.
They're negotiating right now. Are you going to get Death Row? Are you going to do another song from Fozzy? Or are you going to come in with Judas?
Break the walls down. That's
break the walls down.
People want Y2J. They were chanting Y2J on Raw. They want Y2J.
They're in Berlin next week, Big G.
Dude,
Berlin.
last night, he could have had some cool jacket that lit up that was like Stranger Things. Man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whatever. It didn't happen. So.
Moving on. The past is past.
All right. Shout out to Mr. Tito, who sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Tito. Tito's really down on WWE right now. He says TKO and its board are ruining WWE. They are shoving in Netflix tie-ins and other sponsored control segments or matches. Is it really that bad though? The
Tito.
done more with it. I like the idea.
It's been worse, but like I said, it wasn't eventful, so it felt like an infomercial for Netflix. And then maybe pay-per-view, WWE PLEs, but it didn't, I don't know.
I wouldn't say it was ruining anything. I just think they could have done more with it. It was a missed opportunity to do some cool stuff.
Yeah, just a little underwhelming, that's all.
Yeah.
See, hate Vince McMahon all you want. Again, I always talk about this. He does all the bad stuff, but he still finds that one thing to pop the fans. Like last night, he would have found that one thing, whether Jericho would have returned or Roman would have came back or Brock would have came out as a monster. Something would have happened with Vince. He would have gave them something last night.
Virtue. So Dave Scheffler, I think, is definitely making sure he gets his spot for next week. Dave Scheffler sent in $5, although you're not the mod next week. He says, no real surprises, no cliffhanger after the last match, especially no Rumble progress. I agree with Virtue about Gunther as I'm underwhelmed by the show.
I just don't like to me, as soon as he got smacked, should have set him off.
Yeah.
The laughter should have stopped and he should have went after AJ and choked him out or something. Yeah. Something.
This is the lean general we're
with the chair.
About. Yeah, exactly. He should be the guy that should be breaking people's neck with a lariat or freaking incapacitating and saying, I made this person pass, I made this person tap out. Not somebody that's laughing cornier than Watson and Joker.
If going forward, Gunther stops that stupid laughing, I'm going to take credit for it. I'm going to say somewhere across the internet, he flipped through his phone and saw us talking about it,
Yeah.
I'm not expecting that, but I will take full credit for it if that laughter stops after this week.
Gonna happen.
Probably won't. Gino?
Yeah, and then right after that, he's going to complain to the the GM as if he couldn't have handled it himself right in the ring. And then AJ right behind him, like he was waiting for his cue. It was just it doesn't feel natural. It totally could have. He should have slapped him. Smile gone, like you said, beat him down, write him off for TV until the Rumble, not having him have a match next week just because we want Gunther wrestling in Germany. It just...
And he's from Austria.
You know what? I want him wrestling in Germany.
Well, yeah,
damn it.
Yeah, I mean, Austria is the same country as Germany. Oh, no, it's not.
It's not, but it's adjacent, and he's going to be the favorite there, and all those things.
But they don't book him as a
geography
lesson. Is he booked as a German even though we know he's from Austria or no? Or is he booked
just booked as an Eastern European heel?
He's booked from Austria, but they're right next door to each other.
That doesn't care. Compare that Canada and the U.S. You can't. All right.
So we got one here from Dave is a Beastly. And I agree with Dave here. Rooting for AEW in 2026 till WWE could step it up. I'm rooting for everybody. I'm rooting for all the companies to step up their game. The more competition, the better. I want JCW to do well. I want New Japan to do well. I want CMLL.
Jericho's going to go to JCW.
TNA. Yeah, definitely TNA because they got that AMC deal. So I'm not getting my hopes up, but TNA doing well on AMC could really be a game changer. And, I want to believe like people believe in Joe Hendry, but I know TNA is TNA and they've had a history of disappointing, but I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for all the companies to do well. So wrestling can grow and get bigger and bigger.
Next.
All right,
Now on
guys.
Speed round. Speed round.
Big G, it's your time to shine here. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, imagine Roman Reigns versus Obafemi at WrestleMania 42.
No, too soon.
Too soon.
Yeah.
I agree. Too soon. All right, here we go. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, imagine Jeff Jarrett in the upside.
That was put that picture back up
and draw money.
Put that picture back up with Big G. That is the upside down.
That is the
All
upside.
this time. That's it. Stranger Things. Like just look at all the different things going on in that photo.
All right. Here we go. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, imagine Roman Reigns in the upside down.
Sure, he'd make a good villain.
He'd be pointing down instead of pointing up. That's right.
Acknowledge them.
They could have Roman Reigns as Vecna and do the pointing of the down, and then he takes it off and then turns it to pointing up.
Oh gosh.
Missed opportunity. All right, here we go. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2
boy.
super chat. Says, imagine Darby Allin in the upside down.
So would that mean would he be falling up then?
Well, he would be,
down?
if you guys know the radio tower on the show, he'd be jumping off of that and doing all sorts of
would.
He'd be doing the coffin drop off
he
the
would
top
have.
of that tower.
He would be
Maybe the
descending Mount
safest-
Everest.
The safest form of wrestling for Darby Allin.
I mean, Vecna wouldn't have stood a chance against Darby Allin because Darby Allin could survive anything. He climbed Mount
Well,
Everest.
So it seems.
All right, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Psycho. Says, imagine Paul in the upside down.
Would he be humble?
He's always humble. He's the most humble superstar in wrestling.
So
So
we're just imagining all these wrestlers in the upside down now. That's the gimmick this week, huh?
That's the gimmick. Yep.
All right, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Psycho. Says, imagine Charlotte Flair in the upside down.
So instead of woo, she goes ow. Okay.
And she's a
I love
brunette
it.
instead of a blonde.
I don't want to go ow again. She's been hurt enough. She needs to stay healthy for a while. Christ.
So if she would hurt her knees, she would hurt her arms.
There you go.
All right, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, imagine Tugboat in the upside down.
Yeah, it's called the Shockmaster.
Yeah. You know what? Aaron Shockmaster would have broken through that wall faster than Elle did.
That's right. If only they had the Shockmaster, the show would not have gone
Watch
to
yourself,
8
kids.
episodes. It would have been done in the 3rd episode.
A Shotmaster would have just ran backwards through the wall versus forward.
He would have
Yeah, let's keep 'em
broken the
going.
walls down.
But still have only Anderson's voice for no good reason.
Exactly.
All right. Mr. Tito sent in a $2 super chat. Says, imagine Tito upside down on Psycho Jet Black's mom.
Man, we completely-
upside down on
Right.
her.
Noah.
we completely
Or is she
off
upside?
the fucking rails.
I don't know what's happening.
All right.
Moving
Psycho
on.
Jet
I'm a
Black
sutra.
sent in a $2 super chat. Says, imagine the Usos in the upside down.
So it's so
Actually, not botch things.
It's day last ish. Day one. Yeah.
No,
Stay
Jay
last.
would not get winded walking to the ring.
There you go.
that's accurate.
They don't even have him go to the ring now. Just in the
Jeff
stands,
just
5 feet
culture
away.
us, including
That's
Bertie.
the freaking highway. There you go.
Jeff says, imagine if my bladder explodes from the shats.
Super chat.
Super chats. I couldn't fit it into the $2 window. Sorry.
Shit.
So-
You gotta go to the bathroom, Jeff?
Although it could explode in the chats. Whenever,
So
we'll never
Devin's
know, I guess.
adopting the Generation Z's way of texting. Good to know.
I try.
Gotta
All right.
stay young.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, imagine Mr. Tito in the upside down.
Okay.
Take off the mask.
Oh, that's
We get to
dangerous.
see the real Mr. Tito in the upside down.
All the
I don't
time.
know. Would we want to see the real Mr. Tito?
I don't know.
He's a good guy. Despite his online persona, he's a good guy. All right,
There you
Big G, you know what to do.
That's it,
Thank
man.
you.
I'm doing your shtick for you. Do your
He's
shtick.
got to do it.
Thank you.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, imagine Jeff Meacham in the upside down.
Okay.
You know what? I'd be fine with that. He'd go group with that group.
No, I'm kidding.
Whoa.
Jeff wishes he could turn his camera upside down, but
Here, wait a
no
minute.
can do.
You're gonna try to hold it upside down for a little bit.
Oh, here we go. Some
Oh, no.
wonky hand operating.
Oh,
There we
Yeah.
go. Jeff's on the
God.
upside down.
There we go. I got it. There we go.
Okay, so this is the new gimmick now. We're turning our cameras upside down. Got it.
Big G, you're missing your cue. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. He says, imagine Darth Vader in the upside down.
You mean Anakin?
Ooh.
Just regular babyface
Yeah, pretty
Anakin?
old,
I
like,
love it.
I am not your father.
L versus Darth Vader versus Vecna. Bam, there you go. Triple threat.
Oh, Lord.
Darth Vader would wipe them in seconds.
Are we caught up?
Accurate.
Oh, wait, whoa. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says,
Oh, no.
imagine Santa Claus in the upside down.
That's Krampus.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Well,
All right,
David Harbour
caught
did play Santa
All right,
Claus in
caught up.
Violent Night.
Last
So there
words.
you
All right,
go.
go ahead, Big G. Go.
Yeah, everywhere you can follow me at Original Big G1, Instagram Big G1988 because Instagram sucks.
Okay, thank you. Noah.
Five Magic Cannon, Fox 1916 on the YouTube and on next. We're on the Richard Curse. You just love Dermot Stew. It's as simple as that.
Micro Machine Man. I love it. Thank
Love
you.
it.
Because you're a simple man.
Oh, yeah, and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it. All right, Aaron, you got it.
All right.
You had to get
thank you.
one in for the beginning of the new year.
At least
Gino.
one.
You're the mod next
Yeah.
week, too.
I am moderating next week. I got everybody's messages. I'll be building the panel later this week. Yes, I know where Gunther is from. Came out wrong. But if you want to follow me, Papagino0017 on the YouTube. We're talking wrestling. We're live streaming games. We're having a lot of fun. And we do predictions post-mortem with Noah after the big pay-per-views. So stay tuned.
Thank you, Gino. And Gino, I am on. So that means you got to find 3 more people.
Yes, sir. Thank you for letting me know.
On it.
Jeff.
All right. My show's on Monday. Greg Cherry Show on Wednesdays. Movie reviews on Fridays. And we're covering the Rumble all day, Saturday the 31st, and leading up to it on the 28th. You can check out more of my social medias. There you go.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. All right, Aaron.
All right. We got a couple more from Psycho Jet
course
Black.
we do.
It says, imagine Captain America in the upside down.
Hail Hydra. Good. Next.
Whoa. Okay.
Being in the upside down doesn't necessarily mean the opposite of their persona, but we've been running with that. So let's just keep it.
Sure. Why not? Yeah.
Mr. Russia.
All right. Imagine George Washington in the upside down.
That wig would not stay on.
He'd be in a submarine in the Delaware River.
Oh,
Next.
I got it.
Damn.
The George Washington animatronic like completely failed at Disney World. That shit was great. That's in the upside down.
All right.
All
All right.
He's
Psycho
trying.
Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. He says, imagine WW2 German
World War
leader
II.
in the upside down.
Yeah, Hitler.
Can't say his name. Now we're going to get demonetized.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no.
Good night, everybody.
I said Jeff Big G's last name, Jeff Hilful. What are you
Oh.
talking about?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
What
I
are
need
you
a hearing
talking
aid
about?
then. I thought I heard
Well
something.
played.
Just like I thought Adam Pierce was talking about.
Let's keep it rolling. Keep it going.
All right,
Do your gimmick, dude. Do your gimmick.
You guys know the answer to this one.
Don't
I mean,
say
you don't
it.
even have to say
No,
his
don't
name. I'm
say
not
it.
saying his name,
Don't say his name.
but
Don't
everybody
say it.
knows who he's talking about. So
We
thank you
know.
for that
We
super
know.
chat. And make sure you guys check out NoDQ's live streams on Spotify. We are on Spotify. You can check
Yay.
out NoDQ Review. Listen to it while you're driving to work or going to the gym. You can catch up on the NoDQ Review via Spotify. And I think we are all set. So, Virtue, I'll go ahead and let you do your final plug
right.
and wrap us up.
X.com at NoDQ_virtue. And also check out NoDQ.com/merch and check out all the shirts. There is still the original Virtue's Rage shirt on there where the NoDQ logo is upside down. So if you want to go get that,
Oh,
that is it.
bingo.
That is
There
it.
you go.
I should have wore that today. But
You should have
shirt.
missed
All
out.
right. For Noah, for Gino, for Jeff, for Big G, for Colin, and the whole NoDQ crew and galaxy. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Have a good night, folks.
Yeet.
No, 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 no.